Hi everyone, another installment in the master bedroom ensuite build. So, what have we been doing the last couple of days? We've been doing a lot, to be honest. Um, as you know from one of the previous videos, I was in the process of painting all the architrave, all the skirting. So that's pretty much all done now. Can't fit a lot of it at this point in time because I'm still doing other repairs and things like that and fit ups, but it's all ready to go. So yeah, I'll give you a look. So we've got the two in here, either side of the door. We've got the trim there, which goes up the door here, and also with this, I had an issue. This door frame was not plumb. I had a lot of plaster overhang, and there was no way I was going to be able to get the trim on. The reason they got away with it last time was because obviously the wardrobe was here, but there's no wardrobe now, so I had to pry all this out, cut the nails, move it across, and go right up the top to about here, and just shift the whole lot across. Even this center strip wasn't lined up properly, as you can see. So all this has to be repainted. This will be something I can do when I'm recovering from my my hand operation. I only need one hand to paint, so this can all get a freshen up. And there is a slight variation too. This paint's a lot brighter. Obviously, this is a water-based enamel. This is an oil-based enamel, and this is 22 years old, so it's yellowed a little bit. So we'll just give all this a freshen up, so everything looks nice and crisp, like the doors, because the doors were only done a couple of years ago, and you probably see the difference in the footage. You know, this is like an off-white, and this is a crisp white, so clean white. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna clean up all in here in this hallway. I've decided that the grey that I used in here on these walls, I'm going to continue that through. So when you have this door open, you look through and it's almost like a continuation. So yeah, I'm quite lucky because this is enclosed, so I can fix it up. Had a spot here. I pointed this out in a couple of videos ago when I was talking about how the house, you know, how I believe the house had some really weird and funky stuff done to it, and I had a bit of a hollow here, so I've just filled that. Rather than cut all the plasterboard out, I've just filled it. And then they had the center line here where they joined two pieces of board, and they haven't feathered it in properly, so I've done that. I had a few impurities here in this architrave as well, and I was going to replace this. I do have another piece, but again I thought, oh, I've got the plaster here, I'll put some plaster on it. Yep, I know, not the right way to do it. You know, you should be using wood filler, but I've used plaster in the past, and it works a treat. It really does. It doesn't go anywhere. You know, once it's on, it's on. So, yeah, there was a few imperfections there, so I've just gone over those and cleaned them up. As I just pointed out, that's the other one to go in here. And as you can see, we have plasterboard. So I bit the bullet. I didn't want to plaster this up. As I said, I wanted to wait until I was going to move the window and then order all the plasterboard at the same time and make one trip, and well, that hasn't worked out because I can't start the tiling yet. I'm waiting on some tile clamps to turn up. They're the little ones, not the crosses that you put in to get your spacing, but these are little clamps. You sort of sit them in beside those crosses and you sort of tighten them down so you get it perfectly. You get your tiles perfectly level. I ordered those. They were meant to turn up last week. They didn't show, so I'm hoping tomorrow. So this weekend I've had to find lots of little jobs to do. All the little things you forget about, they do add up. They keep you going. So yeah, this weekend was the weekend to get all the loose ends out of the way. So we've got the architrave here for, God, where's that one going? I gotta think. Oh, that one goes in here. That one goes in here. So that'll go in there. There's all the architrave for around the wardrobe. None of it's nailed in. As you know, it won't get nailed in until the new carpet is about to go in. The screen carpet's got to be ripped up first, then that gets nailed in, and then the carpet guys, especially along these two sides, will put their little nail strips in that holds the carpet in place. But they'll need to work that out from the architrave out as to where they nail it in. So yeah, but it's all there. It's all clean. One thing that was bothering me was this up here. There wasn't a good transition along the bottom of the cornice. Now I've actually put some plaster in there. Haven't sanded it yet, but I thought I'd mention that because, as you know, in a couple of other videos it was driving me crazy, so I just decided to bite the bullet and do that. All the doors, all the door frames, this door always closed pretty good, but it's pretty much lined up now and it opens really good. So I've got that happening. This side was jamming up. It was jamming up down the bottom there and jamming up here. I think it's just due to the house having moved. So I'm still getting a little bit of catchment on the door, just there. But what I've noticed is that the bottom of this is hanging out just ever so slightly. So I'm going to pull the lock out. I'm going to just get the chisel and just take a slither, just a very fine, 1 mil maybe. It's probably only 1 mil, 1 mil, 2 mil, but you can feel it sitting high there, and that's where it's catching. You can see where the chrome plating's come off the brass, just on the edge there. So I definitely know that's the catch point. So, but I've knocked this wall frame back in, and I can close the doors now. What else? Okay, we bought, me and my sister dropped over this morning. So I asked her to give me a hand to bring this in. This was sitting under the carport. This is the shower screen. It's pretty dirty at the moment, but it is in great condition. There's no scratches on it. All the trim's in really good nick. It just needs a good clean. Now I'd taken all my measurements off the shower screen to work out how far out I had to come with this. Now we lifted this in this morning and it's absolutely perfect. We put a tile up against the wall to allow, obviously, for the spacing, and it just worked brilliantly. So very happy about that. So nearly tripped over my own feet then. So rather than take this back out now, we're just going to leave this in here, because now my carport looks great. It's all cleaned up out there, and the only thing left out there for the bathroom is the vanity unit. I can still clean this in here. There's no issues, and it doesn't actually need to be cleaned until it's installed. I can actually do the clean once all the tiling's done. We can bring it in and fit it up, and once we got it installed, then we'll clean it. I guess it's not really the right way to do it, but we can do it that way. Another thing, when I took the plasterboard off here, I had plasterboard on one side, and I had this old doorway filled in with masonite stripping. Sorry, not masonite stripping, masonite sheet. When I took this out, I tried to be really careful. Tried to cut it good, and I got behind it where the stud adhesive was, and I slowly pried it off, and I got it out in one piece. And I brought it in here, and I've transplanted it into this section because I only had a very short piece up the top, and there was still a breeze coming in through the wall cavity. So some nights it got really bitterly cold in here. So now I've just filled this with the old plasterboard, and last night I couldn't feel anything, so it was great. Doorway, okay. So I've been, I wouldn't say a little bit slack on it, but it's taken a little longer than I expected. But I'm trying to get this perfect. I am trying to get it as good as I possibly can for a DIY guy, you know. So this side's finished now, so that's good. I've had to add a little bit more here, a little bit more on the side here. I did give it a sand, and I happened to I started to see the joining tape there, so obviously I stopped. But then I got my straight edge out again, and I realised that I've got a little bit of a hollow on this side, pretty much from about here to, I guess, here. And then I had a hollow in the centre here as well. So I've gone over that. It's really testing my patience, this one, because just when I think I get it right, I find something else, and it's just, okay, now I've got to add a little bit more. And then I do that, and then I find something else. I find an edge or something, and it's just not right, and I've got to add a little bit more. So, but we're very close now. So this should be the last one, last coat, last sand, and then that's done. I've got to sand the top here. Haven't done that yet. I'm pretty sure that's going to come up really good. I've sort of neglected that because it's overhead, and you know, you got to stand underneath it to sand it. You end up getting covered in the stuff, so I just haven't, you know, been avoiding it. But I've got to get it done now. Ceiling fan, patch piece, or patch panel, or patch repair, or ceiling repair, or whatever you want to call it. As you know, it was done several months ago. It had a couple of coats on it. I'd sanded it, then put another, like a third coat on it, as I do with all the plaster, and it basically has sat there for months and months and months. So today I got in here and I gave it a sand, and I had a couple of low spots, so rather than just fill the low spots, I've put a skim across the entire thing again, because at least doing that, I know there can't be any lows now. So that's all done. This cement sheet here for the recess, before the plasterboard went on, this actually got glued in, so I have to clean this up. There's some remnants of liquid nails in here, so I've got to clean that up. But that's solid now, and that is now leaning up against the plasterboard, so it's sort of the two panels are tied in to each other, so that's nice and solid. What else? Oh, okay, yeah, the architrave around the window, because this time I'm going to get this right, and I'm going to tile up to the architrave. Now this architrave, I'm not going to keep it because yeah, I'm going to buy new stuff. I'm going to buy new stuff, but this stuff will be okay to tile around. So yeah, that got put in the other day. Toilet got cleaned up, sort of. So all the manufacturing stickers that come with it to say that, you know, it's of Australian standards, and it's, you know, water energy rating stickers and all that sort of stuff. I went around the entire unit, got all those off, got all there was marks on it, there was tape marks on it, obviously where things had been stuck to it when it was in the box. Got all that off, and yeah, come up really good. I was thinking there was going to be some scratches on the cistern or the tank, but not, absolutely perfect, so very happy with that. What else? I'm about to run a third wire down the wall for this. The reason it didn't get done when these two got done was because it ended up getting dark. I ran out of light during the day, and then my torch went flat. So we never got to run the third cable. So I'm going to go and do that in about 10 minutes time. So yeah, so that's another job done, or will be done. What else are we looking at? Not much, guys. I've got to use some no more gaps up along the cornice there, because obviously when I took the plasterboard out, I cut along the cornice because I didn't want to replace the cornice. So I'm going to fill that along there. You'll never know, and then that job will be done too. I went outside today and worked out where I'm going to start removing the bricks for this window that's going in. Oh, not this window, but the other window that I've got as a spare, where that's going in. So I've marked all the brickwork outside, and what I want to do is, before I go in for my hand surgery, I want to grind out all the mortar joints, all the horizontal mortar joints in the brickwork, all the way up to the top of the window, and have that all prepared, because it could be several months before I'm sort of able to do any work like that. So I want to have it prepped. The less sort of torture I've got to put myself through, the better. So that's been done. All the trees or bushes that were out there that I thought I might have to rip out, I decided not to rip them out. I've really pruned them back hard. So now I have a very spacious walkway in along that wall to be able to do my brickwork, and the window gets inserted from the inside, not from the outside, so that's perfect. And I can keep those trees as a little bit of a privacy screen in front of the window, which is good. And it'll also help in summer too, when you get the afternoon sun coming through the window. Those bushes, those trees are really going to make a hell of a difference keeping the heat down, or keeping the heat out of the room. So I'm trying to think what else there is, guys. Probably not much more on the bathroom. I did go around the house, and in certain places I changed out some of these downlight globes. I like the really cool white ones. I had a lot of these warm downlight globes installed in the house because that was a government incentive, where they came out and they replaced all your halogen globes with LED globes, but they only gave you the choice. It's like ordering a Model T. You could have it in every colour but only black. So yeah, they only supplied the warm, they didn't supply the cool. So all my major rooms, like bedroom, kitchen, and my, what I call my little theatre room, I've put all these cool white globes in, and eventually I will replace all the warm globes in the house, so it looks the same. So yeah, it's Monday. My tile clamps still haven't turned up, so had to find something else to do today. So I went round and I sanded all the plasterwork that I'd repaired on the Sunday, including this lovely little doorway, and still wasn't happy with it. So I've basically gone over the entire thing again. I knew this would be a problem, and but this is the last time. I don't even think I'm going to use my flat board. I think I'm just going to use a sanding block and just do it by feel, try and get it right. it's so close. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't want to play ball with me. So, yeah. So that was that took up a good part of my afternoon out here. So we gave all this a sand as well. This wall here, where the repair is, you can sort of maybe see in the footage. You can see that dark square patch. That's actually the part that's low. So it was still low. I sanded it and it was still low. So I've just gone over it again. You know, when in Rome. So yeah, just added more plaster to everywhere. I just thought, just do it, because you know, I don't want to think I finished and then a week later I come back and go, oh damn, I should have done that at the time. So I've just gone over it, sanded all this. Surprisingly, a lot of the little dents and impurities in that strip of architrave were still actually there. You could feel them. The plaster had shrunk, obviously, and dried, but it was like I hadn't even put anything on it. So again, I've from top to almost bottom, I've gone over it again, and that'll get a sand tomorrow. And I would say, you know, touch wood, that will be the last coat on there. The wall, sanded this today, come up pretty damn good. I was pretty happy with it. I had a couple of spots where it looked like I was starting to hit the paper joining tape, and why, I have no idea, because these boards actually taper in here in the center, and I put that tape, basically I just put a very thin skim there just to make the board sticky, and then I put the tape down. So the tape should be really low in there, but for some reason I ended up sanding through it here, or just the top of it, and then there was another spot right here. So again, I've just gone over the whole lot. This only took me, I think, less than 2 minutes to sand, so this isn't a big deal for me. If they were all like this, I'd be so happy. So yeah. Corner along the corners, so I put all the gap sealing up there today. That's come up really good. Besides, you know, wiping it down with a wet finger, and then, you know, that's about it. There's not much to it. It's very, very simple. Had to add a little bit more plaster here. We had a little bit of a, it must have been a repair done a very, very long time ago in there. And when I was bashing this door frame yesterday to try and get it all to line up, that piece of filler actually fell out of there. So I don't ever remember having done it over the last 22 years, but obviously it got done sometime, and wasn't done very well, and it fell out. So I put a little bit of plaster in there. It's not deep. It's probably only about 1.5 mil thick. So I'm hoping that this will be okay, and once the paint goes on it and seals it, it should pretty much stay. You probably remember from me having knocked this door frame, I had some gaps and stuff down here. I figured, rather than trying to fill the gaps, well, it wasn't actually gaps, it's where the paint had cracked. So what I did is I got my sanding block out and I ran over that join with the sanding block to get any of the flakes of paint, the edges off the flakes of paint off the timber, and then all I've done is gap sealed again. So when I do paint it, I'm not going to have to put multiple coats on to try and build up those paint chips that fell out. So now it's been gap filled, and the same on this side. So this all got gap filled all the way down, and then on the reverse side as well, that all got gap filled there today. I had to do a small, you won't see it, I think the light's going to be too bright. There's a repair in the roof. I don't know how that ended up being there. There's like some hole, like something got punched through it, a piece of dowel or something, because it's only small, but something got punched through there long time ago, and I'd repaired it, but I'd never ever sanded it, and I've just walked past it for the last 20 years. So today it actually got a coat of plaster put on it. Besides that, nothing really. There's been no other work I've done today. That's it. So I'll leave it here, and when these tile clamps finally turn up, we'll get stuck into some tiling. And yeah, and until they do, I'm just going to keep working on this plasterboard and get it sanded and probably get it in a coat of undercoat. I'm not going to use that sealer primer that I used on the wardrobe. I don't like it. It's too thick. I could water it down, but it just, the way it goes on it's just terrible. It's streaky, and you can feel it. It doesn't finish with a flat texture. So I'm just going to use some sealing white on this plasterboard to seal it up, and hopefully get that done tomorrow. I'm hoping I can get this entire hallway up to the point of being undercoated and ready for paint. I have the paint left over from the bathroom, so and the lounge room. So yeah, I've got the paint. I've got everything here. It's just time, just waiting on plaster to dry. It's so frustrating, but yeah. Till then, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.